again and welcome back to the channel. I've had a few weeks off from uploading, but happy to be back and with another local in real life effort for you now. The Col de la Finestre. On this, the final mountain stage of this year's Giro d'Italia, I'm taking the long way round to visit a near neighbour in Italy, town of Susa, which is about 50 kilometres as the crow flies. But I'm turning what would be a 1.5 hour drive up over the Col de Liseran into a 3.5 to 4 hour one, simply because the mountain pass into Italy from me is still buried under several metres of snow for at least the next few weeks. So bad timing, but not to worry. On the positive side, as I set up, I've got a coffee, a pretty nice drive ahead of me, and some sunshine as I drive to one of the crowning moments, as I now realise, in retrospect, in what really has been a beautiful race over the last 3 weeks. For the benefit of you as my viewing audience, I've increased the frame rate to 250%. Saving you time and boredom as you watch me snake through the traffic up to my eventual viewing spot. It's also partial footage, as unfortunately a combination of battery changes and corrupted recordings led to some of my stuff being lost or some of the sections not being recorded. I've also turned right down the ambient noise, mostly because I sound like a panting dog at this quicker speed of playback. I hope you don't mind. So it's a loop around past a few epics like the Col de la Madeleine and the Galibier before the long tunnel of Frejus, which spits me out of the darkness into Italy eventually, and just a short handful of motorway miles to my destination. I arrive in Susa on this gorgeous summer day, where I find a rare parking space in a local little supermarket, and then embark on what is widely regarded as a monster of a task, especially considering the 28-degree heat that's currently blessing the town at the foot of the Col de Finestre. So as I start the Tarmac section of this 19-kilometre first category climb on my aptly named Tarmac SL8, the balloons and scattered spectators along this sparse residential segment are the only indication something might be happening today. But with 9% average gradient from here on in, I'm settling in for a proper long, hot effort. And pacing wise, I'm going to push a little. I wouldn't say it's a cafe climb. So not long after I pass under the stone arch, which you don't get to see in the footage, and a couple of 13% plus stretches, my merry band of travelling tifosi and I meet with a police roadblock, and are then sent on a Strava effort-destroying detour, which variously consists of narrow gravel paths up through rambling dwellings and on upwards at a gradient of around 15-16% for approximately 1 to 2k, before it then rejoins the route proper a little further up. Didn't want to take that detour, don't quite know what it did to my Strava segment, but you'll see that if you click the link attached to this. Indeed, had it not been congested with fellow riders, pushers of everything, including bikes, prams, carriers of cool boxes, fans galore and flags and everything else, I might have included the footage. Once I was back on the tarmac, unlike KF Education First, my ascent to this opening 5k certainly wasn't furious, but then I didn't have a GC contender to aid in a battle for the stage 20 and the overall crown. So instead I used the many hundreds of cyclists climbing today in their various fun costumes and aboard their various vehicles as markers of my own pace progress. I take all these people riding with me as something of a mental boost when coming to spectate a mountain stage on a grand tour like this. Under your own power, The other aspect, of course, has been the massive crowds who seem to use the amateurs preceding the actual race behind us as practice for their own various horn blowing, bell ringing, cheering and flag waving. It really is delightful. It's quite something else. And yet, I'm blissfully unaware of those fireworks, politics and just plain bad race tactics that are to come and help rob Del Toro of another 2 evenings in pink, a colour I really think suited him, to be quite honest, as I endure the harsh gradient, sporadic traffic now arriving and continuing the tarmac half of the ascent. Are you counting the number of fellow climbers I pass? I am, kind of, although I haven't got a clicker. You will see a few people passing me too, although I don't include the many electric mountain bikes that do pass me. Soon enough though, in the heat, I approach the large white building that signifies the end of the tarmac and the start of the white road. It's already got a rent crowd gathered around it, as they know it's a pivotal moment in the climb. And then, as if on cue, a team car comes past, as if to amplify with a cloud of dust the arduous part is about to start. So sitting down for the most part of this section of the climb, I attempted to aid both grip and relative progress with my Rubai Pro tyres, as I made a pretty decent fist at the next few kilometres. But what the footage doesn't show is just how much heat was factor. Also because I'm not a regular drinker on cols, usually carrying my 2 full bidons all the way as extra ballast. You might have noticed the grey BMW estate that just passed me. If you don't recognise it, that's a Eurosport vehicle, and you'll get to see one of its passengers in a minute or two. The white road treated me fairly kindly, and the clouds slowly crept in, cooling me off a little bit. The hairpins and increased crowd told me I was nearing the later stages of the climb. And this being confirmed by the Red Bull section with the arch race separated by 1 kilometre. The scenery started to play its part too, signifying that we must be up around 2,000 metres of elevation. Spectacular, as you'll see. Some jovial crowds, anticipation of the end, and a few minor celebrity TNT presenters spots, which distracted me along the way, were enough to spur me through the final turns. The crowds really were epic at that stage. 1,680 metres of elevation gain for the Strava section to September. I realised that there was a place called a disgruntled mob of hundreds of sweaty local runners who would halt their progress and basically end the challenge. So you'll watch the footage. I just did kind of creep in a few feet forward for about the next 4, 5, 6 minutes before I decided to end it. And which is a painful decision when you do any climb, but when you do one of these pinnacle calls, you know, surrounded in mystique, you want to set a time on it. You know, you just want to know how long it took you. But I'm sure I'll revisit it again, if only just to do the whole thing. You'll see some moments later the path starts to open up a little bit, and so I just push my bike up and over the finish line to the crowds that were massive, waiting for our heroes there at the top. that's it. But what follows are a few bits of footage that I shot, and including a TNT clip that I later watched when I saw the stage the following day. Simon Yates passing me, I caught on the cameraman's lens. You'll see me here. Yeah, I'll put it in the right place. Here, in my resplendent beard, and but an epic afternoon. Wasn't even dampened much by the closure of the Fraser's Tunnel, which caused me to do a 9-hour detour in the car over and around a different pass over the border, a mountain pass further down, back to my home in Val d'Isère. Little did I know, looking back at these bits of footage, that the pink jersey, as he came through, him and collectively moreover his DS and Team UAE had essentially lost the Giro for him already by that stage. I'm yelling, go on, and it's absolutely irrelevant because he really lost it. Shame. Also have Burton back on Zwift, so I'll be uploading a selection of those if you like those, and I'm also doing a tour of some giants, including Alpe d'Huez with some parts from the UK in a couple of weeks, so I'll be taking the camera along and filming us doing a few of those as well. But thanks for tuning in. Hit the like buttons and all the rest of it if you want, and I'll see you again. Right on.